All right, guys, we are here at Louisville at the National Farm Machinery Show. It is crazy, man. There's so much cool stuff here. Don't know how much I'm going to be able to video, but I'm going to get as much of it as I can, and we're going to walk around and see what we can find. Kentucky State Police just wrote me into buying a raffle ticket for that Corvette.
Yes,
I hope they don't regret that. All right, guys, I'm going to voice over the majority of this. There is so many people there. It is so difficult to get good video, more or less get video with some good audio. So I'm going to kind of give you a brief explanation of everything I've seen. I'm not trying to do any reviews by doing any of this. May just kind of point out some things that I liked or didn't like with the particular piece of equipment or something I've seen. So we're gonna walk around here, see what we see. There's absolutely no rhyme or reason. It's just if I seen it, I thought it was cool or neat, I got a little snippet of video, and I'll kind of explain to you what we got going on here. But this little short video here, I'm not gonna explain a whole lot about this. This is my stepbrother, Brad. He works for Gravely. He's a territory salesman, I guess, covers about 4 states or so. But little backstory here, he's a big Gravely guy. He almost had me a lawnmower sold. I ended up finding a used Scag, price I couldn't pass up, which obviously is his competitor. He still gives me crap about it, but not gonna go into a bunch of detail about this because me and him actually did a pretty cool video on this lawnmower. I'll show you at a later date. So let's move on down the road and see what we can find here to show. So this is the Branson booth. I've operated a few of these tractors. They're decent little tractors for the money. The main reason I took this video is I was gonna give him the award for the cutest tractor at the show. He's a pretty cute little guy. So this trailer here was kind of a low ride trailer. It's got, if you watch the fenders raise up and the whole thing raises and lowers, it don't tilt. It don't have ramps or anything. Cool, but a lot of moving parts. I'm not for sure about it. These here were all aluminum. I think they were EV or EB. I don't know, see here in a minute, but all aluminum trailers. Really good in some particular applications, I'm sure. I'm not real good at it. Not for sure it served me real good for what I do. I just see some durability standpoints, not from a structure perspective, but I don't know. I just seen some bullet holes in it possibly. This is actually a Bobcat E35 little mini excavator. I like the cab on this. The cab is wider. It seems wider than most. Wasn't real fond of the plastic foot pegs. And one thing I did notice is the seat is real short. The seat's not real tall. I don't know, just kind of, I noticed it as soon as I sat down. Kind of odd, I guess, but nice machine. All right, these little JBC things, I don't have a skid steer, and I'm gonna get one day, but one reason I don't is I cannot stand falling into a machine and climbing out. I don't know why. They're just not comfortable for me to run. I always feel like I'm sitting down a hole driving a tank. But these JBCs intrigue me for a couple of reasons. One, they're side access, which is really nice. And 2, with that one arm on the side, you can get a telescoping option, which I can see be beneficial in some situations. But like a lot of you guys, I got concerns about the durability and the usability and different things. I do know one guy that's got one. He's really fond of it. I like the insides of them. The operator stations are nice, simple and clean. They got good lift capacities. Engine bay looks like a little bit of a pain in the butt to maintenance. I've seen some better setups on some other machines, but look at this non-track machine. I mean, you just like jump right into that thing. You can't tell me that that's not nice versus climbing up over the bucket and falling down in there. So not for sure. Verdict's still out on it, but definitely got my attention, I guess. This is the Versatile booth. I consider Versatile like a component tractor. You know, they use a Cummins engine. I think they use the New Holland drivetrain. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big tractor guy, but I can definitely see for the price point, I think there's definitely a market for these things. They're very simply built, which I appreciate. You guys that know me well know I'm not a huge fan of the Cummins engine, but I do know it is a good engine. I don't know, it's got its place for sure. It's a nice machine. These things here, tractor on super swampers, I guess. I don't know, it looks like more of a novelty thing for me. I'm sure there's some application where they would make good use, but obviously this was a tire booth. But the dang tread on these things is probably, I bet you it's 6 inches tall. I didn't measure it, maybe 5, I don't know. Not for sure how practical they are. I'm sure there's a situation out there where they would come in handy. It does make the tractor float on water, but it was cool to look at. This was the Yamar. Yamar used to build engines for John Deere, and then they built Cub Cadet for a lot of years. I don't know, it's kind of disappointing in this tractor. I kind of like the operating station, but the bucket was real cheaply made. It just, I don't know, like these push arms here or draft arms. I don't know, I kind of lost confidence in it, and this was their side-by-side. It caught my interest because it was diesel, but it looked good from the front, but the operator station on this thing, hell, it has damn Cub Cadet lawnmower seats in it. I don't know. Wasn't real impressed with that. Obviously, I haven't drove it or used it or anything. There may be something to it. I'm not a farmer. I don't have a dang clue what this thing is, but it is amazing. It's some sort of high-speed tillage equipment, but how big farm equipment has got nowadays is just mind-boggling. This is the Case IH booth, and they, hands down, in my eyes, win the award for the best setup booth. They had a stage, they had a farm simulator, really nicely laid out. They just did a good job with their booth, so good job, Case IH. Kubota here, I love the Kubota engines, I love the Kubota buckets. I've never been real fond of the Kubota operating stations. Stuff kind of seems out of place to me, and I don't know what it is about the Kubota geometry of their 3-point hitches, but it always seems to be off with every damn thing I hook up to, but that's just my personal take. My biggest thing about Kubota, and there's other tractors out there like it, is they use the rocker. You can see right there I'm pointing out for the travel forward reverse, and my foot just does not operate that way. Here's the John Deere version. I do like their loader a little better. I like their operator station a lot better. If you look, it's got a smaller back tire on it, so it kind of sits a little lower, easier to get on and off of. They're similar. The John Deere's got the 2 pedals right here, forward and reverse. That setup works so much better for me the way my feet work. But nevertheless, both of them are nice little tractors. I think it just kind of comes down to personal preference. There's the Holy Grail John Deere tractor. That's the big quad track. Man, that's one heck of a machine. This is the AGCO booth with the Gleaner combine. I don't know much of anything about these. I got a basic understanding of how they work, but the engineering that goes into these things is mind-boggling. I don't know if this is a good job or a bad job, but it sure is impressive to see how they get all those moving parts and all those wires and hoses and computers and sensors and everything in this thing, and then it actually work as well as what it does. So it's just cool to check out. All right, this is the Fendt tractor. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but these things have always intrigued me. They got this independent front suspension, and just the design and engineering and the road speed, and I've obviously never drove one, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on them, and they're just a neat concept tractor. From what I can tell, they may be a little over-engineered, but they're very well engineered. This is a Cat skid steer. I am kind of looking to get in a skid steer, so I was kind of looking them all over. I've never been impressed with the Cat skid steer. The operator station feels very claustrophobic. The visibility out the back is always, and even out the sides, the way the arms sit there. Egress in and out, I don't know. Just not a big Cat skid steer fan. This is one of the Challengers. I think they're teamed up with AGCO now. If I owned a large farm, I believe this is the setup I would go with. It just looks more efficient than a quad track, but I'm by no means an expert. One thing I did notice on this machine is like the cab is set real far forward, which looks like to me it'd be horrible visibility out the back, but that's just an observation. Massey Ferguson booth. Just had a cool little rack of tractors here I thought I'd get a picture of. I wanted to give this guy props. You know, you gotta be creative and maximize your space. You only got so much floor space, so how do you get one extra trailer in there? You put one on top of the other. Nice little display. Just thought it was a guy doing a good job. So, you know, another thing here, bad boys, you gotta walk through here and catch somebody's eye. They decided to hang a lawnmower on the wall, and by golly, it caught my eye, so I took a quick little video of it. Just wanted to give them props. Kubota skid steer, I do like right there in the front, it does have a wider opening to get in. The seat seems to sit up a little bit higher. They just seem easier for me to get in and out. I do like the Kubota engines. I'm not a huge Kubota equipment fan, but I don't really have nothing against them. I think it's just personal preference more than anything. I hear a lot of good things about them, so I'm sure they're a good machine. This is a little excavator. I actually had a U35 for a long time. I was not a big fan of that machine. That right there, what I just pointed out, that distance between that pin and up there is always shorter on those Kubota machines. It's nice for some digging applications, but if you're wanting to load a truck or do anything up higher, it really hurts you. I don't know if anybody's ever paid attention to that before, but it does make a huge difference. Caterpillar's kind of got the longer ones and Bobcat's kind of in the middle. Scag here, I went to check these out just because I wanted to see what was different, and I'm not going to say anything, but there is one salesman here that was just horrific. I had to ask him to move just to walk around the lawnmower. Come on, guy. I seen a race car. I'm going there. I am a huge Clint Boyer fan. I am not a huge Ford fan, but I was impressed that they actually had the Ford Mustang on the front of this, the new front end. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty legit race car, but I don't care what make or brand it is. If it's a race car, I'm going to go check it out. So did a quick little walk around, did a little poke inside here, but got the digital dash and whole 9 yards. So Gale, checked out the Gale skid steer. Don't know a whole lot about them. I didn't see anything I truly disliked. I didn't see anything I actually loved, but it looked like a pretty simple little efficient design. Again, I feel like you sit up just a tick higher in this machine, so it may get in and out a little bit easier, but they looked, overall to me, they looked like pretty nice, well put together machines. This thing here, this was a tile plow. This was a massive, impressive piece of equipment. Whenever I walk to the back here, look at these people standing around this V-plow, just to give you a little bit of an indication of how large this thing was. And it's got little flaps there on the side where you can help steer it, but this video doesn't no justice to how large this thing was. I would love to see some of these worked. I've watched some videos on them, but it's a very large and in charge piece of equipment for sure. I've seen this booger here. I have always wanted to build one of these. I don't have the need for an off-road truck. I just can't justify it. But man, if I could find something to slap one of these together to pull with a tractor, I just think it'd be cool from time to time. I hate changing tires. You guys may have seen that in some of my videos. This guy's here had a little tire changing giddy up set up. We're basically using an impact to break a bead. Then they had this other thing I did not get some good video of. It actually pulls the tire off the bead. I'm pretty sure if you're good at changing tires, this wouldn't be faster, but it is pretty cool if you're just doing from one time to time. These guys weren't very video friendly, so I apologize this video not being the best, but from the occasional tire changer, I could definitely see, I think it was like $1,500. I could definitely see where this would be beneficial. I like neat and cool stuff. This guy here was basically an inventor in his basement and invented this air filter cleaner. Basically, you set the cleaner down over top of it. You adjust these little hoses. There's a gauge on there, and you basically run it up and down in and out of the air cleaner, and it cleans your filter efficiently. I think he was wanting $150, $200 for it, but I just thought it was cool. There it is working there, how it works. So tools are my kryptonite, and man, they got a lot of tools there to look at. I will say, if anybody goes to these shows, one thing I found with the internet nowadays, like these guys wanted like $800 for these sockets. I could go on eBay and get the exact damn thing shipped to my door for like $575. So just because it's at a show, don't mean it's a bargain. Now, there are some bargains there, and there are some good stuff there, but not just because it's at a show, don't mean it's a bargain. But yeah, I ended up buying a little jump pack. I still ain't for sure if I got taken on it yet or not. I may do a video on it. We'll find out. But this was a really cool bearing puller and installer kit, but they went like $2,700 for it. It may or may have been worth it. I don't know. But again, I could have found it for the same price or cheaper on the internet. All right, guys, that's pretty much a wrap for this video. There is so much cool stuff there. I walked around there for 2 days. And I know I didn't see it all. I didn't even come close. I wish the expo center was laid out a little better. It's a little confusing finding your way around there, but well worth the trip. If nobody's ever been there, it's worth the trip for sure. I want to thank Bradley for my fancy Gravely hat, and I want to thank John and Chris Temple for the tickets to the tractor pull. And that's going to be the video you guys are going to see coming up next, so stay tuned. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, if you could just take a few seconds to hit that thumbs up button, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on the next great adventure or the next project on Dirt Perfect, hit that subscribe button.